All right, let's talk about it. It's a question pretty much everyone has Googled at some point. How do I actually lose face fat? Today, we're going to cut through all the noise, separate the myths from what really works, and give you a plan you can actually use. Let's dive in.
So picture this. You've got a big event coming up this week. Maybe a wedding, a job interview, a first date. You get the idea. You look in the mirror and your face just feels puffy, a little bloated, not your best. We've all been there, right? It's a super common problem, but the real question is, what can you do about it right now?
So, first up, let's tackle the fastest way to see a difference. Now, this isn't about long-term fat loss. Not yet. This is all about fighting that temporary puffiness to get a sharper look in just 1 week. These are your quick wins. Okay, before we go any further, we have to get one thing straight. There's a huge difference between puffiness and actual fat. The puffiness we're talking about for our quick fix, that's mostly just temporary water retention. It's often caused by your diet, maybe not drinking enough water. That is completely different from actual face fat, which is adipose tissue. And that requires a longer-term, whole-body plan to lose.
So, here it is, your simple 4-step battle plan for the next 7 days. It's really straightforward. 1, we're going to reset your hydration. 2, slash your sodium intake. 3, cut way back on alcohol. And 4, get your sleep schedule locked in. It sounds basic, I know, but trust me, when you do all 4 together, the effect is incredibly powerful.
Let's start with water and salt. Now, I know this sounds a little backward, but when you're dehydrated, your body panics and starts holding on to every drop of water it can, often right in your face. So by chugging at least 3 liters a day, you're telling your body, hey, it's okay, we've got plenty, you can let that stored water go. And at the same time, you've got to cut out those super salty, processed foods. Salt is literally the #1 enemy of a depuffed face. Pro tip here, eat more foods with potassium, like bananas or spinach. Potassium actually helps your body flush out all that excess sodium.
And what about alcohol? Man, it's a real double whammy for your face. First off, it's packed with empty calories. But second, it's a diuretic, meaning it dehydrates you. And what happens when you're dehydrated? Your body overcompensates by retaining water. The result? That puffy, bloated face the next morning. So for this 1-week fix, cutting it out is kind of non-negotiable if you want to see fast results.
Okay, so we've covered the quick fixes for getting rid of puffiness, but what about getting rid of actual face fat, for good? Well, to do that, we first have to bust the single biggest myth in fitness.
Listen, every credible health expert is completely unanimous on this point. You simply cannot target fat loss. You can't pick one spot on your body and decide to lose fat from there. You know, doing 1,000 crunches won't just melt fat off your belly, and in exactly the same way, no amount of chewing or face yoga is going to magically burn fat from your cheeks. That whole idea is the myth of spot reduction. So, to put it as simply as possible, spot reduction, this idea that you can burn fat from one specific area by working out that one area, it's a complete and total myth. It just doesn't work that way. Your body loses fat from all over, and where it comes off first is mostly decided by your genetics. So the big takeaway here is that a slimmer face is the result of lowering your overall body fat percentage. So if we can't just target the face, what is the real formula? Well, it all starts with a consistent plan that focuses on your entire body. And really, it all boils down to this number. To lose fat, any fat, you have to be in a consistent caloric deficit. That just means eating about 300 to 500 fewer calories than your body burns every day. This is the fundamental, unbreakable law of fat loss. Period. You can find a calculator online to figure out your maintenance calories and then just subtract from there. Okay, so how do you create that calorie deficit without feeling like you're starving all the time? It's all about food quality. You want to prioritize things like lean protein and high-fiber foods because they keep you feeling full and help build muscle. And what do you cut back on? The refined carbs. White bread, pasta, which are basically empty calories, along with all the sugary drinks and ultra-processed junk. Making this one swap is a total game changer. Now let's talk about exercise. The most effective approach is really a 1-2 punch. First, you need cardio, like running, swimming, whatever, to burn calories. Second, and this is just as important, is strength training. See, when you build muscle, you actually boost your metabolism, which means you burn more calories around the clock, even when you're just sitting on the couch. And seriously, never, ever underestimate the power of just walking. Hitting 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day is one of the best, most sustainable tools for fat loss. Okay, so once you've got that solid foundation of diet and exercise in place, we can start layering on some other powerful lifestyle hacks and appearance tricks to really enhance your results. Sleep and stress are they're huge. You can't ignore them. When you don't get enough sleep or you're super stressed out, your body pumps out more of this hormone called cortisol. And cortisol is directly linked to storing fat and retaining water. And guess where it loves to show up? Right in your face. So, making sure you get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep isn't a luxury, it's an absolutely crucial part of this whole equation.
And now for some clever visual tricks you can use right now. The right haircut. Think short on the sides with a bit of volume on top. Can totally create an illusion of length, making your face appear slimmer. For guys, a well-shaped beard can literally carve out a sharp jawline. And here's one for everybody. Posture. Just standing up tall with your chin slightly tucked makes your jawline look more defined instantly. Try it.
All right, it's time. We have to talk about the facial exercises. The chewing gum, the mewing, all the stuff you see all over TikTok. What is the real deal? Do any of them actually work?
Yeah, you've definitely seen these before, right? Puffing out your cheeks and swishing air around, holding a big, tight smile, or pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth, which people call mewing. They're absolutely everywhere online. But what are they actually doing? And here it is, the final verdict. These exercises can help strengthen and tone your facial muscles, especially the big chewing muscle in your jaw. And yeah, a more toned muscle might give you a slightly more defined look. But let's be crystal clear. They do not burn fat, not one bit. Think of them as the final 10% that fine-tunes your results, not the 90% that actually creates them.
Now, for those who are looking for more direct and dramatic changes, our sources also cover various medical interventions. Things like buccal fat removal, facial liposuction, and certain injectables like Kybella are all designed to directly target fat or muscle in the face. It's just really important to understand that these are in a completely different category from the lifestyle changes we've been talking about.
So after all that, when you boil everything down, the ultimate takeaway is this. Getting a slimmer-looking face isn't about some secret trick or a magic exercise. It's the natural result, the byproduct of improving your overall health through consistent, sustainable habits that you stick with.
And that kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. After going through all the science and all the hacks, is the real goal here just to get a sharper jawline? Or is it maybe about building the habits that lead to a healthier, more energetic life, where a leaner face just happens to be one of the many awesome side effects?